Welcome back, Ben Domenech. Ben, let me ask you this. There's this talk of a new party being created, some third party. I've heard this my whole life. These third parties, they go absolutely nowhere. Basically, they exist to spoil Republicans or Democrats. Do you think they'd even generate enough support given how kooky these people are and inconsistent they are and unprincipled they are? I'm talking about the woke Reich. I mean, what are they actually running on? It seems like to be a soft communism and sort of a mediocre fascism and anti-Judeo-Christian values and Islamism. I don't know. What do you make of it?
I think they should brand themselves the podcast party, Mark. That's basically what they are, you know.
Good.
But the truth is that historically, third parties only succeed at doing one thing, which is injecting a certain policy perspective into one of the major parties. So you have, you know, the anti-slavery movement injecting that into Republican proposals. You have the, you know, the anti-alcohol movement that became, you know, something that was accepted by the major parties. None of these third parties that, you know, put together a 10-point list of all their different principles amount to anything at all. And that's been true in America for a very long time. It's absolutely ridiculous. But you know, look, if they want to spend more time doing that as opposed to fomenting anti-Jewish, you know, conspiracies online, you know, and besmirching the names of all the people who actually love America, you know, on all of their various audio interviews where they're just talking to each other over and over. I'll interview you, you'll interview me. That's the way that this whole thing plays out. It's ridiculous and it's absurd once you start paying attention to it.
Yeah, let me ask you this. The Democrat Party seems to be the focal point for the Jew hatred, the Israel hatred, and it really has nothing to do with Netanyahu when you really listen to these people. It doesn't matter who the prime minister is and so forth and so on. Do you think that's always been lurking there? Or do you think it's political opportunism? Or do you think it's really a substantive problem? In other words, real brain rot?
You know, I think that it's always been lurking there, and one of the reasons that I say that is just because of that, you know, epic old Norm Macdonald joke about, you know what will happen to the Muslims after you know some kind of terrorist attack. It's the kind of thing that I think we've seen, you know, lurking below the surface there for quite a while. But they had a strong, you know, establishment that was basically tamping it down, preventing it from becoming something that animated the party and was the type of thing that, you know, major party officials were going to have to reckon with on stage. You do not see those same radicals on the right standing on stage with major political figures, with mayors, congressmen, senators, etc. That is not true on the right. Those people are on the fringes. On the left, they are willing to accept that energy and even embrace it, basically saying, we need to listen to all these young people who don't know anything and use it to, you know, try to have an impact electorally. That's something that I think is basically cowardice. It's an admission that they are willing to accept this racist, virulent anti-Semitism into their ranks, and I hope that America will reject it. And look, you know, we will see what the outcome of these coming up elections look like, but there are going to be a lot of people who are on Capitol Hill in Congress who are going to be, you know, expounding views that I think we have never seen on the floor of the House of Representatives, things that are so terrible that I hope that they, you know, receive the kind of response that they deserve.
All right, brother. Thanks for being out there with your great voice and your great wisdom. God bless you, my friend.
Good to be with you, Mark.
We'll be right back.